Welcome to Deep Thought. Inspiration can come from anyone or any place. Inspiration. I want y'all to think about it because on Deep Thought it's all about thinking. But I'm going to tell you what, inspiration for different things can come from anyone or any place. Like many of my videos, whether it's on this channel, whether it's on my money channel, whether it's on my main channel, or on my Patreons or wherever I'm doing videos, Rom TV, any Vimeo. Sometimes the inspiration might come from something somebody said or something I saw out in public. I might be sitting on the couch, it got kind of one of those couches where a couple of parts of it recline. I might be reclining half asleep and see something, So right now I got some music going in the background, some soundscapes, and it has the Washington Monument in there, I could use that as an inspiration and go deep, talk about how the phallic symbol part of it. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you out here thinking, when you out here doing what you do, you can learn a lot just by paying attention. You can be inspired by anything. And it don't take a lot. It don't take like a major thing, Indeed, even just doing this video, I was thinking about it because, I do some webinars and stuff. They more private for a private group. And sometimes somebody presenting a webinar, they might say one thing. They'll present like a 2-hour webinar, and they might say something that took them like 3 seconds to say, but I'll write it down and say, you know what, that's inspirational. When I'm talking with anybody, and it could be anyone from my sons to, my friends, lady friends, all of that. They might say something. They hit you with some deep stuff, or you might see something, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's something to think about. Might see a clip on social media or something. Or, you know what, might be driving along, and I might just see something I hadn't seen before. And I might be inspired. I might think about something. See, remember, thoughts can be stimulated. Thoughts can be stimulated. And we always are thinking, And I don't mean, unfortunately, you do have the theys. I had to get the theys in there. Always trying to control your thoughts. And I'm going to get into that later this week. I'm going to get into that later this week and everything. So, but I want y'all to think about that. Like, just being inspired. When I'm talking about deep thought, I want to inspire people more than anything else. I want to inspire people more than anything else to think about it. Think about where you're going. Think about life. Look at stuff, Or, it don't have to be me. It could be any content creator. Indeed, sometimes I might be inspired to do something just by looking for something just to write about or talk about, And it could be anything. It could be just, looking around, looking at, where the dishcloth is, because I'm right next to the way it's set up in here. It's like this typical townhouse how they do now, all open space. It's like, a kitchen and then a living room part, dining room part, all of that stuff. That can be inspirational. I could think about something there, I was inspired the way I am now. I'm looking across at a couple pictures of women, paintings of women and stuff. Now I was inspired to do that because I have all these male paintings around. I was like, I gotta do something different. And sometimes that inspires me. I was looking at them, I was like, that inspires me sometimes. You could be just driving along. I'm gonna tell you what, inspiration can come from anyone, any place, but one of the biggest things with it is have your mind open. Have your mind open. Let me really get into that. And I'll probably talk about that on a video, another video coming up. I've probably talked about it before. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so I've hit a lot of subjects. Sometimes I'll think about something, I'll say, yeah, did I talk about that before? And I'll do a search in the archives. I'll say, oh, I've talked about it several times. But anyway, keep your mind open for stuff. You never know. You never know. And especially keep your mind open for something that can help you on your path through life. Seriously, think about it. I want you to think about it. Like something that you may need. You might be inspired to do something for a business. And it might not be anything big. Like I'll use myself for an example again, you know? And it's not out of conceit, I'll use myself. I prefer, I'm one of those people, it's like I'd rather walk the talk, okay? I'd rather walk the talk, you know? I'm not one of those people that's gonna say, do this, this, and this, and then not doing it myself. But one of the things that inspired me to do videos and do so many videos, because my main thing was writing like blogs and everything. But it was just one day, I was like, I don't feel like writing a blog, let me do a video. And then I still wasn't big into doing the videos, but then I was inspired because I see all these people in their phones, no matter what, in their phones, you know? Gotta jump on one of my sons about in their phones all the time. And I'm also inspired by, you know, seeing all these people in the phones, but then sometimes seeing people not in their phones. Like my oldest son, he'll use his phone just for phone calls. He does not do anything on them. He gets on his iPad for that. But that's inspirational, like just seeing people just being different, just seeing them, just observing them and everything. You know, going to different places. Like one of the things I'll do is sometimes I will purposely be going someplace I usually go all the time, but then I'll drive a different direction. I'll say, nah, let me go this way. Let me go this way. See, I'm always looking around. When I'm driving, I'm always looking. I might see something, see what it might bring. It might bring nothing. It might bring something. It might inspire me to do something. Everything. It was like I was saying about the business, you know. I saw all these people with their heads in the phones and everything. I was like, oh, you know what? They're not all on the phone. They're looking at different social media and stuff. And there was a time at my last place, I had on my wall right above my laptop, upload, upload, upload. And I was like, oh, okay, that was inspirational, you know? And I'm paying attention to a lot of stuff, like clothing styles, everything. It was like, oh, okay. You know, I'm one of those people. In fact, I remember telling a young lady I was dealing with a couple decades ago, I was like, I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to every little thing because you don't know what it could bring for you, you know? Even being a writer, I was inspired to write because of some person's book, another person's book, because it really was a case. It might sound bad, but I was like, well, if he could do this, I could do this better. And I was like, boom. In fact, you know, it's funny, right? I've had, you know, every now and then I get some detractors, of course. I got one detractor say, oh, if you could do that, you could do that. I could do that better. I was like, okay, go ahead and do some videos then. Let me know when you got something up. I want that to happen for the person. I'm going to tell you what, though. Just keep, the main thing is keep your mind open. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind open. Pay attention, you know? Because however, look, you know, I don't get into religion because I don't want to inspire people a certain way. I say everybody has to find their own path to the divine or whatever they want to call it. But one thing I will say, everyone was blessed with a gift, you know? And the thing that might open it up might be something small. Something might happen, you know? You know, everything could be a blessing. So, you know, That little small thing, that person, they might have a certain hairstyle. You might be like, oh, okay, I gotta deal with this, you know? Like, let me use that just real quick for an example. There are many people that have created like hair, like shampoos, conditionings, stuff to touch the hair just because they were having trouble. They were inspired. Like I said, inspiration can come from anyone or any place. I want y'all to think about that. All right? And I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.